Hi guys, this is a video on creating a tiny house model in Sketchup Make 2017. So I just wanted to go through some of the basics in Sketchup and starting from a floor plan or a scale drawing that you should already have, how to build something like this. This is a working model that I'm doing. It's not quite finished, but it's got a lot of the basic elements that we sort of are looking for in this tiny house design. So I worked off a model that looks like this is my scale drawing. Everything's to scale, so not everything or nothing has dimensions on it, but I can work them out pretty easily just by looking at this drawing, because everything just I multiply everything by actually, so it's a 1 to 50 scale. So every centimetre is 50 centimetres in real life. So basically 1 centimetre is half a metre. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a new drawing in SketchUp. Okay, so it probably will ask me to. Okay, so this is what you're presented with. Oops, sorry, okay. This is what you're presented with when you open SketchUp. Okay, so SketchUp basically works by having two-dimensional shapes, so rectangles, circles. We're mostly going to be using rectangles. So making rectangles and then just pulling them and pushing them to generate solid models. Okay, so first thing you need is to create a bottom or a floor for your house. Okay, so on mine here, let's bring that up in. On mine here, I know that my length. Okay, it was originally designed to be on a trailer. I think I'm just going to leave it not on a trailer, but that's not important right now. This is 12 meters, okay, and this is 2.5 meters. Okay, so in my drawing, I've actually selected I'm using millimeters, so I have to do everything in millimeters. Okay, so what you're doing is you're actually modeling using your real life dimensions. Okay, not the centimeters on the drawing. Okay, whatever it is in real life. Okay, so 12,000 millimeters and 2,500. Okay, so with that information, I'm going to click on this tool here, which is the rectangle tool. Okay, so click on that and get used to one of the things about Google SketchUp. I'm actually quite new to using this too. I've used other programs and it's a little bit different, so it's taken me a little bit while to get used to it. Okay, so I'm going to start on the origin. Okay, so one of the things with Google SketchUp is you click once and just raise your finger. Okay, so click on the origin and it'll drag out this rectangle here. Okay, so down the bottom, you will notice these dimensions pop up. Okay, so this is telling me the dimensions of the rectangle. All right, now it can be quite hard to get exactly 12,000 and 2,500, but what you can do is you just directly type in 12,000. Okay, if you can see down the bottom there, it's actually going in exactly what I'm typing, so 2,500. Okay, you have to separate that with a comma. That is the two dimensions, length and width of the rectangle. Okay, I press enter, and I have this rectangle. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional shape, all right, at the moment, and it's actually showing just the top view. So if you hold down the scroll wheel, you can rotate it around. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but it's actually a three-dimensional. It will eventually be a three-dimensional shape. So I'm gonna just keep it like that for the time being. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in. So scrolling in, you can zoom in, and I might do it like this. Okay, so one of the things about this I've found is you have to have your wall dimensions in mind. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional shape, but what I want to do is create a shell. Okay, so walls, doors we'll do later, but we'll think about walls at the moment. Okay, so basically in my drawing, I had a wall all the way around the outside. This is why I was saying in class we have to consider wall thickness. Okay, because when it comes time to model it, we have to think about it. So the four walls on the outside, and I've actually put this wall in here, okay, which is an entryway into my bathroom. And I've got a wall here. You can't actually see it. I haven't labelled it very well, but it's sort of like a floor-to-ceiling wall. Actually, that only exists at the top level. I'm just going to concentrate on these 4 walls. I think it's a good place to start, and it's a good way to start for you guys as well. Okay, so what you do is use this thing called the offset tool. Okay, so offset tool here. What that does is it will create an exact copy, an exact distance away or inside of another one. Okay, so I've got this. It works on these 2-dimensional faces, they're called. Okay, so I click on the offset tool and see how it's highlighting that face there. All right, I'm going to click on that, and it'll sort of drag this edge out, or what looks like a wall or another shape in there. So again, this can be quite tricky to get exactly. I say I want 100mm stud walls. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to get exactly 100mm down in this here distance box here, you can actually type it directly in. So I'm just going to type 100, and what it's done is it's now created 2 faces, right, or 2 surfaces. And if you click on the pointer, you should have 1 and 2 different faces now. So I've got 2 things, and what I can actually do, I'll show you this. I've actually got another wall to create. You should create all the walls first. It's much easier to do it like that than create another one, because all the walls are in theory the same height, so they're all actually part of the same thing. But what I'll show you this extrude tool here, or push tool, push pull, it's called. So you can push or pull shapes into 3D objects. So if you click on that, I've highlighted this edge wall here, and you can drag that up into a wall like that, and that's created a wall. All right. Now, another useful thing in your SketchUp is undo. Okay. It doesn't, not necessarily for mistakes. So it doesn't mean you're making mistakes, but often you'll find it doesn't actually behave like you expect. If it doesn't, the best thing is to undo it, okay, and try something different. All right, so the other thing I'm going to show you is how to put a room in. All right, so we need another wall in here. Okay, I'm going to use the rectangle tool again. Okay, and from your scale drawing, you need to have an approximate idea of what your room's going to look like. So from my scale drawing, I've got 6 squares. Okay, 6 squares, which equals 3 meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from this edge, this is my bathroom edge, I'm going to create a rectangle from this endpoint here, and I'm going to drag out a rectangle 3 meters long, and watch how it snaps onto the edge there. So it's going to keep working on the edge there, 2,300 millimeters. Okay, if I snap on that. Okay, so I know that the width of the rectangle is going to be 2,300, and the length is 3,000. So what I can do now, instead of trying to drag it out, is I can type it directly in. Okay, so 3,000 is 3 meters, and 2,300. Okay, and so there's my line where I'm going to build my wall. Now, this can be a tricky part. I'm going to use the move tool. Okay, I want to create a wall here. All right, so at the moment, all I've got is a line. It doesn't help me very much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the offset tool again. Okay, and now notice how it's created this room here, this rectangle. And if I click on that, it'll allow me to drag an edge. All right, I want 100 mils. 100 mils, so I'm going to type in 100. That's just wall thicknesses of all the walls in my house. Okay, so it's done that, but what you'll notice is it's actually put in a double wall, which is not really that useful. We only want a single like this. Okay, so where we had an outside wall, to put a double in there. This is easily fixed. Okay, so you can use this pen tool to close off shapes whenever you want. Okay, so this endpoint, I'm going to click on here, and it snap myself to that there. Okay, so I've just continued on that line. It's quite easy to do. Okay, so I'm going to do the same down here. Click on that, there, click on that, and now I've got a full solid wall. So that's one face there. Okay, I've got these other ones here, but what you can do is use the eraser tool to delete those that you don't need. Okay, so I used the offset tool to create my wall and deleted what I didn't need. Okay, I'll finish this video off and I'll do a quick one. I'll do another one, how to do doors and some other stuff. Actually, what I'll do here, you can also delete these little objects. Okay, so when it creates a line, all the lines, if you cut it with another line, it'll treat it as a little segment and you can delete it. So now what you can do is see how it treats that as a whole section. Yeah. So my wall is all one piece, and when I erase that, it gives me a solid wall. Okay, so that's basically how you make walls in SketchUp. So have a go at that and see if you can get it. Good luck.